Hello, friends. I'm Jonathan Pishner with Apex Counseling, and today I wanted to talk about teenagers. I see a lot of teenagers in my practice and have over the course of years, and there are a few things that are really valuable to know if you're the parent of a teenager. Oftentimes, whenever I counsel teenagers, I spend some time with the parents helping them know what appropriate expectations are for a teenage brain, because if you're not psychologically trained, it's easy to get lost and to not know what you should actually expect of your teenager versus what are unrealistic and unreasonable expectations. And so, one of them that I wanted to talk about today, because it's so hard from the outside and not knowing brain mechanics to see, is there's a difficulty with consistency that teenagers have that is a function of brain development. And one of the problems with this is as their bodies become more adult, in our unconscious mind, we see an adult body and we assume there should be an adult mind in it. And every once in a while, and as they age more and more, they will evidence adult-like behaviors. They'll start being able to project the consequences of their actions, and they'll start showing some emotional regulation and all of the things that we associate with adulthood. The problem with this is that while by the time you're in your teenage years, all of the brain structures exist and most of them are reasonably developed, they don't talk to each other particularly well. The wiring is faulty, basically, because as these brain structures start to try and integrate, sometimes they'll talk to each other magnificently well, and you'll see in your teenager, very, very adult behavior. And then 7 minutes later, suddenly they lose all of their emotional regulation and they completely fall apart over nothing. Or your child who's usually an honor student and very, very bright, rides a motorcycle down the road without a helmet or something else magnificently foolish. And you're like, what is going on? Well, the reason for it is because since all of these brain structures are not wired together correctly, yet they eventually get there, that's what causes this inconsistency most of the time. Now, why is this important? The reason this is so important is because if you don't know this, it's very easy to assume that your child is acting out of laziness or stupidity or stubbornness, and that it's a cause for major concerns. It's very easy for parents to get upset because they think their child is intentionally being this way. And I mean, sometimes that's the case, but oftentimes what's really happening is that the brain is just not fully wired together yet. And it was the brain was working very, very well a few moments ago, and then suddenly it switched off. It's like anything you've ever seen with a short circuit. It works, and sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it works if you give it a sharp, slap or two on the side. Please don't give your child a sharp slap on the head. That's not how that works. But that's why the short circuit idea is a very, very easy concept for people to grasp, because that's really what it is if you get down to the most base level of it. So I share this with you today so that parents out there know that your teenagers are probably not intentionally being this way. It's just a function of brain mechanics, and you still coach towards those things you want. You still coach them towards consistency and towards good emotional regulation and towards being able to see the consequences of their actions. So you don't give these things up, and if you have to administer a consequence, you still administer that consequence. But it's much easier for parents to do it from a loving and caring place instead of a frustrated and despairing and upset place, if they know that this is brain mechanics. This is not their teenager intentionally being a problem. So thank you for hanging out with me for a few minutes today. I sincerely hope this was helpful to someone out there. I am Jonathan Pishner with Apex Counseling, and I will see you next time.